Hi guys. Yes, I'm back. Back from looking after my daughter, finally back home. And it's great to be here. Hopefully, we'll get this channel up and going. But today, I want to go and take you more of a deep dive into who Helen Barnett was or is, what her friends thought of her, how long she had friendships for, and a few other things that we're going to cover that I didn't cover on the last one. So please sit back, have your coffee or drink, and I hope you will understand more about Helen when I finish. So let's dive into this.
Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio.
Okay, hello and welcome to everyone. This is Crimes Under Investigation, where we discuss all true crime cases and the facts. I am your host, Lisa. Before we get started, I would like to thank all my beautiful subscribers for your loving support, your understanding, as well as my mods. Thank you all. You don't know how much that means to me. If you would like to continue seeing my videos, please like, share and subscribe. If you are new here, I hope you join us. We do have days where we just chit-chat. This channel is as much mine as it is all yours. This is a safe place where we discuss anything and everything, where my subscribers can bring up things that they wish to discuss. Problems where we don't judge one another. We don't have the right to judge anybody. The only person that judges us is the Lord above. So today we are taking a deeper dive into the life of Helen Barnett to discover who she is, the people that are in her life, and the circumstances around her going missing. So let's go over a few things about Helen and how that she went missing. Helen Barnett was last seen walking about 300 metres from her home along Turner's Paddock Road, Coomera in Queensland, at approximately 4:20 p.m. on Sunday, February the 13th, 2022, by one of her neighbours. When the neighbour returned 20 minutes later, however, Helen was nowhere in sight and has not been seen since, sadly. Helen left her home on foot, leaving behind her mobile phone, her purse, her clothes, and life-dependent medication. Helen had a major medical issue that prevented her from walking long distances, and and was being cared for by a friend in her home. However, they were more of a friend than a caretaker, as Helen could do her own cooking and cleaning, but due to losing her license after having a medical episode while driving, she needed someone to get her to appointments, to go grocery shopping, anywhere she needed to go in the car, essentially. So now let's get into who Helen is. Helen Burnett was 53 at the time she went missing, but has since turned 54. Excuse me. Strangely, many have asked, as always, including police, would Helen have taken off to start a new life? To answer that simple question, no. Helen had no reason to take off and start all over again. No matter where life took Helen, she always remained in contact with her mother, who is now 85, and her long-standing friendships, including one of 38 years and one of whom she had known since kinder. Also, another friend who had been friends with her for 9 years. Helen had so many long friendships, there is no reason Helen would simply take off and not keep in contact. It would be a simple way out. Simply way out of character, for Helen to do that. Helen has been described by friends as an amazing person who loved life, loved people, loves to travel, and is free-spirited. She truly does sound like an amazing woman. And you'd have to think a woman that could hold long friendships, not just with one person, but with several. We can all talk about friendships. I can talk about a friendship, only one, that I held for 37, 38 years, but not several like Helen. And as I said, Helen, no matter where life took her, no matter what she was going through, she kept in contact with these people. These people were extremely close to her, especially her friend Michelle, who is the lady that had known her for 38 years. Helen has, I am reading this because I did write it out beforehand, so I didn't miss anything about Helen. She is missed dearly by her friends and family, of course she is. Her friend Michelle, which is the friend that's known her for 38 years, say, I miss the sound of your voice, your laughter, our conversations, and silly times I had together, even as much as watching the tennis together, which is on now here in Australia, which would be painful, but as Michelle says, she is watching it. But Michelle thinks of her friend daily. There's not a day that goes by that Michelle does not think of her, as well as her mother. And I would say her other friend of 9 years, Sharon Fox, if I remember that correctly. Michelle Kane, her friend of 38 years, started the Facebook page Help Find Helen Burnett. I would like everybody, please, to go and join the page and share it out. The more it gets shared out, hopefully, just hopefully, somebody who was passing through Coomera on the 13th of February around 4:20, 4:30 along Turners Park Road just may have seen Helen walking, or may have seen something else that at the time they didn't think much of it. They may have seen Helen get into a car. Anything at this point is needed. Helen does need to come home for her mother and for her friends. And as I said in my previous video about Helen, there were searches done for 3 weeks. They did search rivers, creeks with dive teams. They did helicopter searches. They did foot searches. They have walked along the road. They have looked in the gutters or the drainage for Helen in case Helen did have a medical episode and did fall into the long grass. But sadly, they have not managed to find Helen. And as stated before, which is the one thing that sticks to my mind, Helen left without her sunglasses, without her purse, and without her mobile phone, and without her medical alert. So, thinking about, as well as her runners, trainers, sneakers, Helen was big on proper footwear. She did wear a knee brace. So Helen would also talk to her friend about wearing the right footwear. So her friend, as she said, couldn't imagine her going for a walk without having sneakers on, but let alone going for a walk on her own. So one would think, and I'm not saying this to upset anybody, but a woman to leave her mobile phone, her purse, essentially her medication, and especially her medical alert behind, would wonder why she would do that. What would be the one reason to make you leave your home, leaving that stuff behind, knowing that you had medical issues? That's what that medical alert was for. That you just didn't go too far from people, that you had somebody there with you. After her last medical, when this first happened, she stayed with her friend Michelle for a little while and then went back home. So after 38 years of knowing Helen, like I said in the last video, these ladies would know Helen better than anybody. They would know her movements, what she would do, what she wouldn't do, the things she would, like I said, Michelle said she would not go anywhere without her sunglasses. I am the same. I have light sensitive eyes, so I wear sunglasses all the time if I'm outside, regardless of whether it's a dull day or it's a sunny day. I do understand that. And apparently Helen was the same. So what would make you leave your home without these things? What to me, something in the home she needed to get away from. I just wanted to touch on that. I don't know for sure, but due to the fact that if Helen was thinking right, something had upset her that she needed to get out of that home and go for a walk and distance herself. So I will be doing a live on Sunday morning, Monday morning here. And I hope you will join me. We'll just touch over Helen case, but there's a few other cases I would like to touch on. So I'd like to show you, or I'd like you to listen to the words of her dear friend Michelle as I read this to you. Oh, sorry. Let me just share the screen with you. Okay, guys, I'm very sorry. Just move this stuff out the way. Okay, that's better. Michelle describes how she feels. This really hurt me to read this. It feels dark even when it's daylight, lonely even when you are surrounded by people, only existing, unsure of your identity now. You can see life going on right in front of you. I think I've missed part of this, sorry. I have. I'll start again. So I'm ever so sorry. And I do apologise to Michelle too. When you lose someone, all of a sudden you have no choice but to live in a world you don't recognise. It feels dark even when it's daylight, lonely even when you are surrounded by people, only existing, unsure of your identity now. You can see life going on right in front of you. You even tried to reach out and touch that world, but you aren't able to yet. People out there are just living their mundane lives and seem to not have a care in the world. You sometimes try to live in that world too. This involves fake smiles and pretend interest in small talk. It's exhausting, so you choose to isolate instead. It would be nice to switch places with them and not have your loss constantly replaying in your mind, all those anxious thoughts ruminating. It's a rude awakening when everyone just keeps moving, laughing, making plans, while you are suspended in time, just going through the motion with a pain so deep that you can't even exactly pinpoint where it is coming from. Invisible to others, but it's there and it always hurts. People will say they are always with you, but where? It feels so long since you heard their voice. You almost feel like you have been abandoned to roam this unrecognizable world alone. And on the other end, feel guilty for trying to move forward without them. Lost this way, a big ball of tangled up feelings, and it takes as long as it takes to move through these confusing emotions. It takes patience, lots of self-care, and being kind to yourself, because grief is a lonely journey when you are the only one who truly understands how this particular loss feels. I couldn't have said it better myself. You can hear the hurt that her friends are going through. As I said, her mother is 85 as well. So you could imagine what her mum's going through. So Helen needs to come home. She needs to be found. I don't have to say that. Hopefully, the more this case is talked about, or Helen's story, this beautiful lady here, is talked about and a story gets out, hopefully, I pray somebody did see her. Somebody saw maybe a car pull up. Like I keep going over, if you were at or going through Kumala and you were on Turner's, God, I do apologise. I have so many things going through my head. On Turner's Paddock Road, I'm sorry, Kumala. If you were driving through there, along Turner's Paddock Road, Kumala, around 4:30, and you saw Helen walking along that road, or you saw a car on the side of the road around that area, please call Crime Stoppers. Your one tip just may help solve this case, might help to find Helen. Crime Stoppers is a 1-800-333-000. This beautiful lady is missed by so many. And I will repeat, her mother is 85. So we need to push to find Helen. As you can see, like I said, please go and join this Facebook page. I will put the link in the description below. So I encourage anybody that lives in Australia to please share this story out, even if you don't live in Australia. The bigger channels, I pray that you cover this and help get Helen's story out. But as you can see, 6 days ago, by Michelle, Miss Your Voice, Helen, this week you would have been Miss Chatterbox about the bloody tennis. Well, guess what I have had it on? Don't watch much, laugh out loud, but just reminds me of you. Smudge, which is her cat, Helen's cat, has been sleeping on the bed lately. Just makes me think what was her surroundings were like this time last year. It has stopped raining, so I have been told up in Coomera Way and surrounding areas. Please, I pray that the rain will bring positive vibes in finding your belongings. I hope so too. I hope that God will shine his loving light down and lead someone to where Helen is so that she can be found. Again, the 15th of January, called your phone just to hear your voice message. Wish I could have had a conversation with you. Wish I could see you. Angry and sad. I can't hear your voice or see you. WTF, where are you? Just ticked over 11 months and nothing. Don't get it. Coomera has so much rain in the last 24 hours and more to come in the next 24 hours. Feel for the locals with all this rain, but I have been thinking and hoping this might flush you out. Please, locals, as you have been, but maybe you, we might find her shoes or clothing. I can only hope. My prayers are with Helen, with Michelle, with Helen's mother, with her other friends. We go down further. Here, this is once again Helen. This is her other friend, Sharon Fox. And we'll just read this. Sharon Fox was looking forward to a road trip with her good friend Helen Barnett early this year, but before the two could reunite, Helen went missing. 54-year-old Helen of Coomera went missing on 2022. And after thorough searches, no trace of Helen has been uncovered. My immediate response was shock because she expected me to be there on the following Wednesday, said Sharon. I just couldn't believe it. Sharon and Helen met around 9 years ago through mutual friends and become very close very quickly. We had similarities and we always called each other sisters, said Sharon. Like I said, Helen sounds like an incredibly beautiful lady who holds friends very dear and very close to her. She's just an amazing person. Loved life, loved people. Not once in all those years have I ever seen Helen in a bad mood. That is incredible. Sharon said Helen is a free-spirited person who loves to travel, but when she had a seizure at the wheel of her small bus and lost her license, her mental health took a turn. That contributed to a fair bit of her depression at the time she went missing, said Sharon. The pair planned a road trip with Sharon to pick Helen up from her Cumula home on Wednesday, February the 16th. Helen was seeking support for her mental health at Sharon's suggestion and was released on Friday, February the 11th. She'd gone home and then her carer called me on the Sunday and said she was missing, said Sharon. From that day on, I searched for a whole week down there with a couple of friends to no avail. These are truly amazing friends. We've found nothing. We've heard nothing. It's just heartbreaking to know that we can't find her. Helen's disappearance is shrouded in mystery. While it wasn't unlike her to go for walks, Sharon says she would never have left without her joggers and phone, or sneakers is another word for joggers. She was also taking regular epilepsy and blood pressure medication, which was left at home, alongside her beloved dog Rocky's Ashes and her cat Smudge, which now is with Michelle. Helen would never have wanted people to give up on her, Sharon said. She would never have given up on us. That's the sort of person she was. I hope we find her, and I hope she's returned to us all in one piece. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1-800 333 000. Like I said, please go over and join this Facebook page, especially if you are from Australia and especially if you live in Queensland. If you live close to the Cumula area, please, if you do go along Turner's Paddock Road in Cumula, try and think if you happen to be driving along there last year on February the 13th. This lady does need to come home. I pray that she is found. One way or another, I pray that she is found very soon. I will restate, her mother is 85 and they're concerned about her mum. Her friends, all of them, everybody involved in this lady's life. You can see why you would never believe this woman would just take off and go and start another life without saying anything. She had no reason. She wasn't running from anybody. She wasn't getting away from anyone. She wasn't held down by anyone. She wasn't married. She wasn't tied down in any way. She was a free person, so she had no need to run away. So please, everyone, share this story out. Get Helen's story out, especially across Australia, because you never know. Just maybe one person happened to be driving through Turner's Paddock Road on February the 13th, 2022, around 4:20, let's say between 4:30. Maybe you still have footage from your camera in your car. Maybe you remember, maybe you saw a car parked on the side of the road around that time along that area. If so, please contact Crime Stoppers, like I said, on 1800 333 000. Maybe you've heard something, maybe somebody said something. We don't know. But please help get this story out for all her loved ones. I beg you all. And for everybody that's watching this, please like or unlike. Either way, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down. Help get this story out. This may not be a big case, may not be in the major headlines or the major mainstream media. But Helen's case, Helen's story, deserves as much attention as any one of those cases. They all do. So please share this out. Hit the like button. If you're new here and you like my videos, please subscribe. Thank you all. Loving light to each and every one. Remember, you're all beautiful. Let's lift each other up. Stop pulling each other down. As I said, the only people that can judge us is the Lord above. Nobody else has the right. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.